You need to drastically change your culture, but you've never done it before. But wait a minute. You have Scrum. Should you use that? Let's find out.
Entry music. Da, 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 da. It's the Bob and Josh show.
We might have a disagreement. How many times have we gone into topics expecting to disagree, and then like halfway through, we're very disappointed because we align?
Almost 99% of the time, we've tried to disagree.
Yeah. We've specifically farmed topics for things we think we're going to disagree on, and then halfway through, we're like, oh, it was just kind of like words were confused, and then we realized we meant the same thing, just use different words.
You and I largely align. There's a few things that we disagree, but they're not strong.
Right.
So we may disagree today.
That's the plan. So we're going to see if this happens. We're assuming it won't, but that's just,
and it won't be. It'll be natural.
Yes.
We're not faking it.
Okay? No, we're not.
There's no faking in the Metacast.
That is correct.
All right.
It's
real.
Sadly true.
It's genuine.
So speaking of real, you know what's genuine? Genuinely supporting us by hitting the like button on this video. Yeah, then hitting the subscribe button. Then hitting the notification button. There you go. We've got it covered. Okay, so back to the topic.
Introduce it.
In Discord, thank you for those of you that have joined our Discord server and engaged in the conversation and brought content ideas to the Content Ideas channel.
Okay.
Something came up where somebody was asking about, should you treat a cultural transformation like everything else, like an agile transformation or like an agile implementation, and do retros and sprint plans and all of those things? I say yes.
Okay. And I say no.
And Bob says no.
I'm a strong no.
Wow.
So if I said backlog, like have a backlog, you'd say you could put culture in the backlog and then implement it. Then that's BS. No, you can't do that.
Malarkey?
It's malarkey.
It is not.
It's hodgepodgery.
Okay, so why is it different? So my belief.
Why don't you go first?
After you
explain.
I mean, you want me to go first after you've gone first?
Yes.
Yeah. So I am of a belief that for true culture change to happen, you have to be very intentional about it. And I use Scrum to be intentional about it. I create a backlog of, hey, here's all the things we want to do. Here's all the changes that we want to make. And one of the most beneficial things for me when we do that is we actually reduce our work in progress limit. So we start putting those natural tendencies in place and saying, okay, what's the one thing we can get better? We do a retrospective. We talk about, hey, have we actually gotten better at that? Yes. No. Should we go on to the next one? Yes. No. We make all those changes. And we don't do official sprints, but I generally operate in month-long chunks that look an awful lot like sprints, where we plan out, what are we going to do next? We have our list of items. So to me, it's worked very well.
So I can see Scrumifying or Kanbanifying the work, like work.
Yeah.
Where I disagree is I think culture change is something different. I think culture change is behavior change. I think culture change is like a change initiative where you're changing people. I don't think that can be quantified in a backlog. I don't think that can be quantified in stories. I don't think that can be quantified and bounded in execution. I think it's like you walk, like it's baby steps. I think I've written a 5-part series. We should share it with maybe the video. Talk about culture shaping. And I think it's how you walk. Like it's how you show up every day. It's minute by minute how you show up in a refinement session, like your facial expressions, what you say, what you don't say, when you sigh, when you don't. It's very subtle. So I see culture. I could throw everything else into Scrum, everything.
Yeah.
But culture change is intangible.
Yeah.
Now the one thing that maybe I can get hooked on is the notion of reflection, like reflecting how we're doing. Now, I could see doing a community of practice, like having a leadership community of practice,
Yep.
where we talk about, are we walking our talk? We talk about training. We talk about paired, like one-on-ones. If someone's struggling, having a crucial conversation and things like that, where we're helping each other like a first team.
Right.
But I just don't, I actually think scrumifying it is not going to get good outcomes. And it's because it's culture change.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't like that I buy your statement.
Right.
We want to disagree.
What happened?
I don't.
You got to stand up. You got, Bucky, come on, get in my face. Bob, you ignorant buffoon.
Is that a Saturday Night Live reference?
It was a Saturday Night Live, but
A very old one. Very old one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I 100% agree, and I think the difference in where we're at is, and this is probably the mistake I was making, is that I was just assuming all of that was happening. But to your point, you have to be intentional about that as well. Whereas with my history and experience, that kind of that just happens.
Like throw in the backlog a training class, like a survey. It's like throw in the backlog leadership circle profile for the leadership team. I'm okay with that, right? That's giving the leaders. I'm talking about leader culture, because I think leaders affect the culture so much.
Yeah.
Right. They set the cultural space. So I could see putting some activities on a backlog as part of a transformational backlog.
Yeah.
But this notion of culture shifting, it's incredibly intangible. I want to be talking, and the other thing is I don't want to wait around for like a month or 2 weeks. I want to be talking about it. Like I want us to be actively shaping ourselves, like in little baby steps. I think it's like one little baby step at a time. So it's almost like if you sprint it, then we're going to have like 30 sprints a day or something, right? Or 30 little micro outcomes a day. And I don't think it fits. I actually think by fitting it in that way, you're not proactive. It's like an apples and orange kind of thing.
I think the difference is you're not reactive, right? Because you've got to be reactive in those moments.
Situational, right?
Yeah.
It's one of the things I think about with culture shifting is sense and respond. You're sensing what's the situation,
right?
And then how do I need to respond? You're sensing, and you do this. You do this naturally.
Yeah.
But if you're new to this stuff, you got to sense what they failed. What do I do? Right? They failed. What's the maturity of the team? What's the sense of the culture? How do I respond? Do I applaud it? Do I give them feedback? Do I shut up? What do I do? Respond. Right? It's this sense and respond sort of thing, and getting really good at that situational nature of that. And changing it from your historical sense and respond, which is you suck, you failed, work the weekend, to what is the new sense and respond.
I buy that, but I still believe there are things. I want to talk about items that would be in my backlog of things that we're going to do. So what I would be intentional about is for the next month, we're going to really focus on improving our retrospectives and have focused energy on that, where our leadership team is really going to lean in there. We start to identify where are we worst with our cultural things, and not like a retrospective isn't the cultural thing, but the part of a retrospective that is cultural is, do people speak up? Do they bring up the hard things? How are we going to encourage that to happen? So the ceremony isn't the thing we're trying to make better. What we're trying to make better there is how our culture works in those ceremonies. Are there courageous conversations? Are they happening? Is it viewed as a safe space? If not, then we need to do something about it. So that's one of those things that we as leaders look at how things are happening and say, okay, where's our weak spot? Okay, cool. Let's all push in there and make that better. There are a million things that need to happen along the way that we should be doing anyways.
Because I still disagree with you. That's why I'm smiling.
Okay.
I still am thinking you're full of crap. Right?
All right, fine.
No, we have not had a disagreement like this.
I know.
In a while. And it's not heated.
It can be.
It could be. But no, I actually disagree. I think it muddles the water.
Okay.
I think, we're going to just focus on the next month on a retro. So if someone's in a backlog refinement meeting and someone's dominating the discussion, we're not going to handle it because, we're just focusing on the retro. No, we're going to focus on.
It doesn't mean you don't do anything else. What I
think it's apples, oranges. I think it's Scrum, tactics, and culture shifting is over here. does culture shifting activities blend into the ceremonies, the events? Yes. But I don't want to be talking about them. I think what I'm trying to say is I think couching it under Scrum in some way slows down the responsibility, the real-time nature of the culture shifting sort of that we have, the mindset that we have. I think it actually doesn't, I don't think there's any advantages.
I don't view it as starkly as you do.
Yeah.
What some of the troubles that I've run into in the past have been where I have had a group of very passionate, fired up leaders, and we aren't unified in the things we're attacking. So teams are seeing, hearing different things, all with great intent, all with the intent of helping the teams, helping the organization get better. But in the end, it was a little frayed.
So you're talking about strategy.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's not Scrum. You're couching strategy under the execution flow of Scrum.
It is no different than the times that we've talked about, for instance, when we talked about the Scrum Masters and how if you are in technology, you can still do Scrum without saying it's Scrum. So we're all of the patterns and practices we've used. We bring it there and we use it. So I am not standing up there saying we're doing a sprint planning on culture.
Stop convincing me. Stop it. Just stop it. Stop it.
But the reason why I go there with things like culture, things with how we evolve the organizational structure, is we're pretty darn good at Scrum. We do it every day. So we have these patterns and practices.
You're talking about like the opportunity landscape. I sort of get it. Maybe.
And Bob is right. Do not just blindly apply Scrum to a cultural change. That's not the way to do it. All I'm trying to say is use some of the Scrum principles that you've practiced and gotten very good at to help you along the way. Do not become too rigid. Well, but the answer is we're in the middle.
No, I'm just pissy because now I'm converging again.
The problem is the answer is in the middle.
Loggerheads, and I was feeling good about that.
So what? Yeah.
Now we're getting closer again.
I know.
Democrat, Republican.
Okay.
World peace. We got to find something to fight about.
And it's a very delicate knife edge to walk.
Yeah.
Because you can't get robotic and say, oh, that's not in our sprint. You have to respond in the moment. You have to be the leader the teams need. You have to do all of those things. If you use it as just as a rough guide of, hey, how do I break this down? How do I make this easier? Because it can feel overwhelming.
All right.
Of all the things we got to do.
You sold me.
Okay.
But can we do it this way? Can we say culture shaping first, Scrum second?
Yeah, totally. Agree.
Like from a mindset execution, or whatever term, something like that. Because I don't want to lose this situational this mindset. Because culture shaping is it's so subtle, but so damned important from the leadership, like setting the ecosystem up. Okay.
100%. All right. Well, we did it again.
I know.
Well, I mean, this isn't as bad as some of the others in the past, but still.
All right. Hey, from beautiful downtown Fuquay Arena, North Carolina, I'm Bob Galen.
And I'm Josh Anderson.
Shake.
And big.
Take care, y'all. Did I bring some feistiness into the room?
You did,
and you're responding, aren't you?
Yeah. You're the one with the compensating microphone stand.
It's because it's so heavy here. It's like a fulcrum. It's sort of an Archimedes thing.
Spell Archimedes.
I got your Archimedes right here. Do you have a payphone?
A payphone?
Yeah.
With a quarter? No, we don't.
A dime, actually.
No, it's probably a nickel. Yeah.
Can I keep this here? Is it okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
and I'll
Bob.
hide the phone.
Do you want to turn the ringer up?
Oh. Yeah. I like that idea, Josh. Let me get that. There we go.
Do you want me to go unplug my classic phone? Oh, wait, we don't have one. It's 2021.